points. If I'd have told you before the game, hey Jim, Auburn's going to score 10 points, would you have taken it?
Oh yeah, like heck yeah. Like, oh my gosh. Welcome to My God a Podcast. I'm Jim Wood. In this episode, John Powell and I review Georgia's 20-10 comeback win over the Auburn Tigers. We talk about our experiences on Saturday and what stood out to us during the game. As always, remember to check out the newly redesigned MyGottaPodcast.com to see our latest merch. And you can follow us on social media at MyGottaPodcast. Finally, if you need help with your website or your online presence, head over to workingwebmedia.com/dogs. Now, let's join the conversation in progress. Just as we predicted.
Um, there were some fits and starts there. I think we broke the plane somewhere around there.
Ooh, okay, we gotta we gotta shout out the name of this game from the Chad Barker painting. Wasn't that it? Break the plane, broke the planes.
Yeah, break the planes or something like that. Um, I think it's what it was. I thought that was pretty amazing.
Oh, that was amazing. Yeah. Hey, we weren't off on the score. I'll say like the final score, like we held them to less points than we thought they would score. But then we also scored less points. I don't know, man. This is 100% one of those games where it's like in the heat of the moment, especially early in the game, like everyone's freaking out, like myself included. And we're like, what is wrong with the defense? What is wrong with the defense? And then you get to the end of the game and they only scored 10 points. It's
So let's address that. Can I at least get a little praise for me trying to control everybody?
yeah, I think I actually needed to be calmed down in this game. So thank you.
Because I'm like, guys, we literally are getting curb stomped like American History X style, and we're only down 10 points.
Right. Right.
Like we could not have gotten our head bashed in any worse. I mean, I guess technically it always could be worse, but I'm just saying, like, given the results of what happened on the field, um, this is very much a bend but don't break. I've heard Kirby Smart and the Kirby All Access talking about how resilient this team is.
Hmm.
We are more than battle tested up and down the field at this point. Um, the post game win expectancy, all that kind of stuff from previous weeks, from Bama loss, like this game, like this team could very well be undefeated um, at this
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
But there are definitely some concerns. I think that under the umbrella of everything that has transpired in this college football season, the one shining the one shining thing that I could point to is that there are no elite teams in it. There's absolutely no team that is just going to blow the doors off of everyone. Even Alabama has looked beatable, even though the Ty Simpson has probably one of the quietest Heisman seasons, is having one of the quietest Heisman seasons in recent memory.
Yeah.
Um, he's just carving people up left and right, dude. At some point, they're gonna have to start considering him higher up the food chain. Um, I just like this is the new normal. Like we've NFLized the college football, and on any given Sunday, like we just saw the Falcons take down the Bills
Yeah.
yesterday.
Right.
Nobody expected that. I was in a room full of Falcons fans, like diehard Falcons fans, and they were shocked.
Yeah. 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 That was awesome. And as Hunter said on Twitter, man, those red helmets and black jerseys look pretty good. But anyways.
Red helmets and black jerseys and silver breeches, they
Uh
just go together. Like, yeah.
no, but that's
Um,
that's kind of where my head is at. And it's like I feel like it's especially around the defense. Um, it's that like, and like full admission, like there's a reason why I don't like tweet a lot during the game. I save my stuff for like mainly you and my dad and like a few select others, um, because it's so emotional in the game, and you get so caught up in like the moment and like moment by moment. But then at the end of the game, like I said, you take a step back. It's like, oh my gosh, Like it's
They only
so
scored 10 points. I mean, at
yeah,
this point,
yeah.
Glenn Schumann is trolling the Georgia fan base more so than the equipment team. Like,
Right.
period, full stop.
Right. Right.
Like, bro, what is going on? Like, how is it that in the second half of these games that we're able to just turn a switch and all of a sudden get pressure, get sacks, get off the field on third down? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I think didn't Josh send out a stat today that like for the season where like like teams are converting third downs on like 4 yards or less or 6 yards or less or something like that, and at 100% rate. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is definitely something that is utterly concerning for me. But yeah, at some point we got to start calling it third and Schumann. Like it's
Right.
definitely something that's on the in the arena for sure because we just seem to not be able to get off the field on third down in the first half of games. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is. I don't know how it's transpiring. Credit to the staff for figuring things out in the second half. I keep hearing the words like, we haven't repped this, we didn't rep that. Like, you know, they're throwing they're throwing looks at us that have never been seen before. So it feels like teams are preparing for Georgia very differently than they prepare for everyone else because this is like the third different game that I've heard where people are saying like the offense that we were up against executed plays that we had never seen before, which makes me believe that when it comes time to face Texas, who also has a bye week before they play us, I believe, if I remember correctly. Um, just like Hugh Freeze did on this game, like teams are installing things that we've never seen because we have shown a propensity to not be able to adjust until halftime.
Yeah. Well, also like is when you, I mean, let's face it, like when you win as much as Georgia has won, like we're like people circle us on their schedule. It's like that's the huge game. And I mean, especially look at what Auburn did, right? I mean, you've got night game at home. It was the like all the things we talked about, right? Like all the pomp and circumstance around this game, night game, SEC home opener, Cam Newton jersey retirement night, like all those things, and then you pile on to that, like so, like they're ready, the crowd's ready to go, they've had an extra week to prepare, and then just like the way the game started was like everything we said we needed did not happen. Like the beginning was like a disaster. I mean, like the only way the opening of the game could have been worse was if we turned the ball over, which like back to like that's I think that was kind of how we closed our preview. It's like, look, like Georgia's the better team, protect the ball, win the game, and ultimately, I think that really was a difference. I mean, they had turnovers, we didn't. Um, I don't know, like I mean, just imagine how much worse it could have snowballed. Like I know it was frustrating that we were punting and we weren't scoring on offense, but we weren't turning it over. We were punting it back to them, and that field position, I think, it makes a huge difference and really helped to, I guess, slow them down. I mean, they get what a touchdown in the first. I mean, the opening drive was just like it was super frustrating as a fan to watch. I'm sure it's super frustrating as a member of the team to play through, but like they come out and march down like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? All the 30 down conversions again. Then we can't do anything really. Then they come down again, but then we hold them to a field goal and then nothing. I mean, just yardage, right? Nothing but yards for them for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, to their credit, we are making it very difficult for teams to score points. Um,
Yeah.
you're not seeing us throw it like teams are not scoring 30 plus points on us every single game. Um, they're definitely scoring enough points to potentially win the game, but at the end of the day, like you said, as awful as it felt like that we played, they only gave up 10 points. If I'd have told you before the game, hey Jim, Auburn's going to score 10 points, would you have taken it?
Oh yeah, like heck yeah. Like, oh my gosh. Dude, seriously.
But then throw in the caveat like, hey, they're gonna beat the ever living dog crap out of us for a half.
Yeah.
Would you still take the 10 points?
Right. Right. I don't know. If you tell me we're gonna have like the momentum shift of all momentum shifts right before the half, then maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I guess let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Um, what was your so I feel like that there was a range of emotions in the group chat throughout. Um, I feel like that, Jim, you had some shifts
I
because
got really
I
good.
distinctly remember seeing that's an Auburn touchdown.
I thought that's what they were going to call it. Was so yes, I did think they were going to call it. And especially like the I don't know, it was kind of like the various replay angles or whatever. And I don't know, part of that is like history of things not going our way in certain situations. So yeah, I was like, oh, they're gonna change the call. But then like as they kept showing it, I got frustrated with like the TV announcers, and their commentary because it's like, and like Lily screaming at the TV, like Kim and Lily and I are all in there like screaming at the TV. We're like, it's moving before they're talking about when it's moving. Like
Yes.
I think he had already lost control. Like by the time it got punched out, I forget who punched first. Like Raylan Wilson and CJ Allen both got it. And it was like they were focusing on the second one and like missing the fact that the first one had
Yeah, they're
happened.
missing the first one happened.
So
Yeah,
it's like the ball's
exactly.
already loose. So it's like the I think the funniest thing, and even this McElroy, I saw even him like on his podcast or radio show or whatever this week was like, look, like stop posting the still frame images. Like, of course the ball looks secure in a picture. Like you can't do that. You
Yeah.
have to watch the video.
You have to
Which I
watch
think
the
it's
video.
hilarious. Like the picture with the line going down is like absolutely hilarious. Like with the ball, it's like okay, well, that doesn't tell us anything. Like you can't look at a still frame. Of course, it looks like there's a touchdown there, but yeah, I don't know, man. Well, and then I know then we had the whole back and forth of like, wait, that's a touchdown for Georgia. Like if
So
it has to be it has to be a
That's
touchdown for one team.
that's my biggest beef with the totality of the game. So
Yeah.
Hugh Freeze said it. That was the longest half of football ever
Dude.
because it felt like it took forever to execute because not only did we get the ball, but then it took like 17 minutes for us to go off of 1 minute. Like we had
Yeah,
a 2 minute drill that took 17 minutes.
I haven't like I read this on the internet, so it must be true. I saw that it was like 38 minutes from the 2 minute timeout to halftime
That's crazy.
of like
Yeah,
real
I'm
time.
sure with all the TV timeouts and stuff, like
Well, and Auburn kept getting penalized, like on our drive, right? There was a targeting, there was a roughing the passer, there was like all kinds of stuff, and there were multiple reviews. I mean, targeting is a review. There was like, was it a catch or not review? Like everything got reviewed. So yeah, it took forever.
yeah, so let's talk about that for a second. So overall, I felt like this was a very bad game for the Zebras. Not that I think that people are should be focused on the two big things. So like the two big things being, the fumble that absolutely was a fumble.
Hmm.
You're not going to convince me that that ball was not moving before he got to the line of scrimmage because two people punched it out.
Yeah.
The first one dislodged it. The second one completely knocked it out.
Hmm.
Here's like something that no one really talks about is like there's an Auburn player that's literally staring at the ball after it gets knocked out. If he just picks it up and reaches over the goal line, like it's a touchdown.
Yeah.
But he's just like staring at this ball and just does nothing. I don't know what he was looking at, but it looked as though he was just literally watching the ball like fumble around. And then one of our guys just picks it up. Wasn't it Jones, I think?
Yeah, it's Kyron Jones.
Kyron Jones.
From
Yeah.
Charlotte, North Carolina, by the way.
Nice. Um, and he picked it up and then doesn't fall. So my beef with that one play is that somehow they whistled it dead. I did not hear any whistles on the field,
Yeah.
and that frustrates me beyond all doubt because multiple refs pointed that the ball was out. So if they're pointing that the ball is out, somebody somewhere should not have blown the whistle. Like where does that decision get made that we're blowing the whistle when you can clearly see that the ball's out?
Right.
That frustrated me because it's either a Georgia touchdown or it's an Auburn touchdown.
Right.
The happy medium of putting it on the 1 yard line does not compute for me. Auburn should be very lucky that that's what happened.
I
Because
mean, we
had that
almost
been
had a
a
repeat of the Sean Jones, like whenever that was, 2003 at Tennessee kind of thing.
right, exactly.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like yes, the had no one blown a whistle, like the ball wasn't dead. Had no one blown a whistle, it's a touchdown Georgia. But because, and I'm with you, I didn't hear a whistle, but I have to, you know, they came out and said it's down at the one. So like at that point, it's like you can't, even when replay shows that he was never down, you can't change it just because of the mechanics of how replay works. Like once you say the play's over, it's over. You can't change that stuff. I think all you can change is like immediate recovery can go to their team, but like the whole advancing the ball thing, you can't really change at that point. That's I remember that was in our text thread. I was like, guys, they're not going to change it to a touchdown, Georgia. I was like that can't happen. Just based on the call in the field.
Well,
But
I didn't think that they had blown it dead.
right,
That
right,
was
right,
my thing.
right, 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 right.
Um, so there's that, and then you got all the replays that, I don't know. There was just a lot of stoppage. I felt like that the head referee kind of lost control. I remember walking away from this game thinking like, man, I hope that we never get that ref crew again. Because, as great as it was for us in certain parts, it was also terrible for us. Like then you go into the other big play that everybody talks about is the timeout that we got or didn't get, however you want to look at it. But I don't think that that's as big of a deal as what's being made, how it's been made. I think that people are just kind of focusing on like that Kirby's calling a timeout and that he lied and all this kind of stuff, which I've heard him explain it, and I guess it makes sense in my head, but like
I mean, he called timeout.
you're calling timeout, bro. Like
Like I was
if you want to call a timeout to talk to the refs about something, I mean, I guess that's maybe an argument that I could
right
make there, but like,
in the post game when he was like, I was saying they're clapping and the ref thought I said timeout. It was like, come on, like we saw you signal for timeout. Uh,
yeah,
so,
it
but
also just
whatever.
happened, just so happened that there were 2 seconds left on the clock when that happened. Like,
Right, right. But I mean, again, like I think the officials should have charged Georgia the timeout. Like to
we
me,
should,
that's an
yeah,
like the joke earlier was right. Like it's either an Auburn touchdown or it's a Georgia touchdown. Like this one, it's either delay of game on Auburn for like the clapping thing, like the disconcerting signals or whatever it's called, or it's a timeout Georgia. Like I don't think it could be neither. I think it should have been one or
yeah,
the other. You know,
yeah. I think that
my
if they'd
take.
have gone, if they'd have turned around and said Georgia gets a timeout, like I would have been totally fine with that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
We ended the game with an extra timeout, so in the grand scheme of things, it didn't even matter.
right.
Um, the only thing that I think that Auburn would be aggrieved is that they didn't get we quote unquote didn't get the playoff. But I mean, I don't know. The Auburn fan would then be, consoled by the fact that we absolutely gashed them for like 28 yards or something like that on the very next play, and it gets called back for a egregious miscall on a blindside block, which in my opinion should be reviewable, given what we saw there, because I don't know what Cash Jones is supposed to do.
So I will say this. Uh, it was not the right penalty to call, but a 15-yard penalty against Georgia was warranted, and I'll tell you why.
Are you talking about the targeting?
No, same play. It should have
Oh,
been
okay.
offensive. It should have been offensive pass interference on Cash because he thought Gunner was running. So Gunner looked like he was going to take off and run. If you look at the zoomed out view, he
Uh-huh.
makes that contact like he's not blocking. He's not blocking for Colby Young. Let me put it that way. He was blocking for he thought Gunner was going to run, and
Hmm.
Gunner was like throwing the ball. So while the quarterback is throwing the ball, you can't like run into a defensive back like that. So it actually, I'm not upset about that one. I mean, like I said, to me, I think they called the wrong penalty, but I think a penalty was warranted. I think Coach Hayes pointed that out that he was like, I mean, he again, like he was saying, like it shouldn't have been. It's not a blindside block, which I agree with. He was like, but if anything, it's offensive pass interference, which I think it was, but
Interesting.
yeah.
I haven't actually heard that. I haven't seen anybody talk about that. Um,
Yeah, because it wasn't like Colby Young caught the ball and then Cash made that block. The ball,
mhm.
I can't remember if Gunner hadn't thrown it yet or was like had just thrown it or whatever. But like either way, he's blocking before you should be blocking anyone, basically, on a pass play. Not really his fault, I guess, because like he thought Gunner, in his mind, Gunner is taking off to run, so he's blocking for Gunner, and then that would have been a great block for Gunner. um, And then I think you could have that argument that it was a bad call
Right.
or whatever, you know.
So we ended up not getting much off of that.
Yeah, we ended up missing a field goal there. I believe that was the missed field goal drive. But yeah, man, like I don't know. The I don't know. I feel like maybe we need to do our halftime adjustments like pregame or something
Yeah, can
because
we do like
it's like both sides of the ball, you know? When we come out, go straight down the field. I mean, we get actually I do want to say with the whole fumble thing and then the 99 I guess 99-yard field goal drive, you would say. Um so we're backed up, you know, on their 1 yard line, our own 1 yard
hmm
line. Quarterback sneak does nothing. And then we're in a handoff to Josh McRae and he absolutely like hit the cutback lane and got 10 yards and like without that like that play got that whole drive going to get us points. Like that was huge play, amazing play. And then I feel like the offense kind of woke up from that point on. You know, then come out, start second half and like Noah Thomas sighting. Like what is going on? Like he's open downfield. We've been asking for that. Gunner hits him, you know, and then onto the Chauncey Bowens touchdown. And then I don't know, man. Like at that, I think at that, I know you like to look at the win expectancy stuff. Like it just flipped there from Auburn to Georgia.
Yeah, you can definitely see the slow bleed ever like from the I think that from the fumble, it was like Auburn had 270 something yards and we had like 20.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
And then after the fumble, we had like 270 something yards and they had like 40.
yeah. That was wild. That was wild. I've got the win expectancy. Auburn when they were second and goal at our 3 yard line, they were 85% win expectancy on ESPN's game thing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it was not looking great
It was not.
when I was watching that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like offensively, defensively, like whatever happened, like can someone like tell them that hey, we're down 17, like we need y'all to come back. We need y'all to come back from the kickoff. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know
Because it
either.
seems like that we're able to open things up. We're able to open things up eventually, but like our offense sputters, our defense is giving up, first downs like it's our job. We're allowing them to go on Kirby death marches early in the game. I mean, that first Auburn drive was like 7 minutes and 20 seconds.
It was unbelievable.
I think that, yeah, so they had the ball 12 minutes, 13 minutes. They had the ball 13 minutes of the Oh no, sorry. Yeah, they had the ball like 13 minutes of the first quarter, which is just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Like
mean,
that can't happen. That is not a recipe for that does not spark joy. That is not a recipe for success.
no, no, not at all. I mean, they didn't hit it, and
I remember,
it wasn't off explosive plays, right? Like it was all again, it was like the whole like dink and dunk thing.
yeah, it was dink and dunk. They like death by a thousand cuts is what it
Yeah.
feels like
Yeah.
as a Georgia fan watching it, which it sounds like that's like what the team has been like they've been emphasizing that in the offseason was like they wanted to cut down on explosive plays, etc. And like that to their credit, like yeah, you're right. Like there haven't been a ton of explosive plays and maybe that's the strategy here is that, they're gonna get yards and we're gonna give up some battles, but then when things start to get down into I mean, I feel like that we've got to be one of the best defenses in the country when it comes to preventing a team from scoring inside the red zone. Like
In the second half, no, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
in the second half, in the
Like
second half.
after the first quarter. Um,
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that we just like
but that's what's so crazy, right?
when the
It's like
field gets small, we're able to defend it really well.
right, and that's true. But here's the thing, like it wasn't just like okay, so the first drive, obviously super long, like whatever, they marched on the field to score. Then there's the long drive. It's like okay, but we held them to field goal, cool. And then I guess there's the long drive that resulted in the fumble. But then after that, it was like they didn't do anything. I mean, like it wasn't like they were getting yards and we were keeping them from scoring when they got close to the red zone. They didn't move the ball at all after that point.
I do think to a certain extent there was a schism or like Hugh Freeze had a complete crash out, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Aaron Jake Fromm talked about this on the Punt and Pass podcast. Um, that the halftime speech that he gave was like demoralizing. Like
Mm,
outside looking in, like he had just given up.
mm,
Like he like they were just dumbfounded. They had no answer. They had nothing to come back on. Like the team just kind of quit. And I think in the aftermath, like Auburn had a captain, a team captain is like kicked off the team.
mm,
Um, they lost one of their one of their team captains that a bunch of the Auburn players have been like going to bat for on social media and stuff. But
okay.
um, anyway, it's just a symptom of something that's going on inside of the locker room at Auburn, which is like kind of the opposite of what we're seeing at UGA. Like Kirby Smart, I don't know if you had a chance to check out the All Access, which came out like a couple hours before we started recording, but I took a video of it to post on social. One of his end game speech was like his halftime speech talked about it, and then his end game speech called back to it. Basically, like you don't knock someone out with the first punch, you knock them out after the 50th punch.
Mm,
And they knocked him out at the 50th punch. Like they just kept chopping. Like you may not, he's just going back to like that, keep chopping.
yeah.
Um, the mental fortitude that it takes to continue to sustain that, which is why I say, we're very clearly battle tested at this point, that our team is resilient. Resiliency is in the DNA.
Yeah.
And maybe the fire, passion, and energy isn't there, but as much as we want it to be, whether it be in the terms of pursuing the quarterback or getting interceptions or getting off the field on third down, as much as we want, but they absolutely have resiliency.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I mean, they turned it on, tweeted during the game, "My God, a sack." Uh, we had the huge sack up the middle.
Yeah, dude, the
But on
sacks.
top of that, just we had pressure, right? I think it was only one sack, but like you affect the quarterback when you get to him.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely looked like he was uncomfortable in the pocket in the second half for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
and like I mean, they had the opportunity for that one explosive, right? I think it was Singleton was open deep down the middle, and he overthrew him. I mean that was a huge moment in the game where they were unable to connect when they finally got somebody open deep down the field.
right.
Um, I had a couple of things I wanted to make sure we hit. Like well, the last drive, our last drive of the game, like the death march of all death marches. I think someone, I forget who it was, um, called it the building bonus of death marches, TM, TM, TM. Like unbelievable drive. And then, uh, like we had, London Humphreys and Branch, like huge catches coming up huge on, like third down conversions, fourth down conversions. What a drive. And then, capped it off with the Superman on Cam Newton night by Gunner, which then led
Yeah.
to a Kirby rage stroke. Kirby getting mad. Like when Kirby is getting mad that our quarterback scored a touchdown, like we are so back.
Yes. I need more Kirby Rage strokes for sure. Yeah, dude, 2 weeks in a row he's executed an iconic recreation of past touchdowns.
That's
So he
true.
had
That's true.
he had the Stetson recreation against Kentucky, and then he had the Cam Newton recreation against Auburn, which was pretty awesome.
I did like like didn't notice during game and then was like going back and looking at some stuff and I think I texted you guys like did Oscar Delp do the Superman and dab? And like I had to like go back and like slow it down and he did in fact do that. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. And then I don't remember who did the broken heart at the end. That was
Oh,
Chef's kiss.
that was Kristen Miller. That was woo. Dude, I can't. I actually missed it live. I was like, because I was like so excited. I was because I think that was when they turned it over on downs, right? Right at the end. And
Hmm.
I don't know, I was like celebrating, and then and Kim and Lily were both like yelling at the TV, like, "Oh my gosh, did you see that?" Like when he did the broken heart. Oh, so good, so good. The only way that there's many ways that game could have been better, but you had been calling for it, you've been calling for it, and then it happened, and we were so close for the unofficial. The unofficial official completion pass.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Like
uh,
Bobo had been setting that up all
yeah,
season long, and we finally hit it. And I think Dylan Bell just rushed it. He just rushed it. I think if he'd have just
yeah,
slowed down, I feel like it was one of those things where it's just like you see that it's happening, and it's just like this giant balloon, and it's just
yeah.
like, oh, it's easy. I just gotta get out there, and then you just lackadaisical. You just lose focus for a second. I have a feeling that that play is going to be there again in the future, so watch out for that down the road. We are going to hit that play because it is going to be there. Um,
Speaking of Bobo setting up things though too, like with that, like if you go and watch both the like Gunner's touchdown and then the it was either third it was the last like conversion before his touchdown on the last drive. Like both of those we faked that like jet sweep motion and then bootleg Gunner out to the right. And like on the first one ended up throwing it to a running back first down, and then the next time he just took it to the house. So I don't know. That's the thing. It's like sometimes like, oh, we keep running these plays. I was like, well, sometimes it's a setup. They actually work pretty well. The screens, as much as people like to complain about them, they actually work pretty well in this game. And then
it looks like
that
Branch is starting to catch on to
yeah,
the screen passes that we saw that we were trying to do against Alabama.
yeah,
Couldn't catch the ball, but that's another thing, dude. Catch the ball.
mm, yeah, yeah,
Noah Thomas has caught the ball.
yeah. I hope to see more of that.
Hmm. Yeah, I like to see more of that for sure. But yeah, to your point, like there's, you know, I try to compare it to if you're a Braves fan, I compare it to Greg Maddux. Greg Maddux will throw pitches and throw pitches and throw pitches and throw pitches. And like, I don't know if you've seen like I can't remember what the documentary is that was about Maddox. But Eddie Perez talking about how he called his pitches and like he served up a pitch and gave up a home run in a meaningless game that I think that they were winning or something like that. But he threw a pitch to someone to set him up later on in the playoffs so that he could hit him on a different setup.
Yeah,
Um, and Eddie Perez was like he had created that sequence of pitches months ago, like and
right.
had it all set up. Like that's just how far into his bag he was. And then I'm not saying like Bubba was some kind of like Greg Maddux type artist, but like it does feel like that he has been putting. I mean, I knew that the Dylan Bell pass would eventually come because it was just so obvious. Like there were so many open opportunities for him to have potentially snuck someone out there.
Yeah,
You just put enough stuff on film, and eventually something's going to stick out there where you'll make a little wrinkle and it hits for a big play because they weren't expecting it.
right, right, right. 9 in a row over these guys, man. I can't like college made could not comprehend
I'll tell
anything
you
like
an,
that.
I'll tell you another play that to watch out for that Carter has actually asked about. Um, Carter was like, did you see the highlight video the school put out?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And he's like, "Man, at some point we're gonna have to put Oscar Delp on a reverse like we did with Brock Bowers."
Hmm.
I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. He's got the speed.
He's got some wheels for sure. Other things that anything else that stood out to you? Only other thing that I can think of off the top of my head right now, that I haven't talked about is there's definitely a little bit of like we're giving up some punt returns, and that does not spark
Hmm.
joy with Mr. Thorson's punting. There was a couple of punts where I was like, ugh, definitely could have done for that to be a few yards deeper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but nothing backbreaking, so to speak. But it's definitely been noticed that there's been more returns as of late.
Yeah, it's like, what's happening? People are actually able to return punts. What is
Yeah, seriously.
what the heck? Um, the only other thing I had jotted down was we had a rare someone played on a Kirby Hopeful Kiss of Death in Monroe Freeling. So he was given the hopeful and then played. So
Man, Monroe Freeling, there was a play that he was called on to block out wide, which I guess maybe that's a good example of like maybe we shouldn't play guys in positions that are having to move around when they're walking wounded kind of thing. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, there was that play that Freeling was out wide and his only job was to literally delay a guy to getting to the ball carrier. And if he blocks him, like it's a huge gain. If we get a single block, even just a small delay, it's a huge game. But as it is, like Freeling whiffed his block
Yeah.
and it was blown up for no gain or a loss or something like that. Kind of similar to like Craig. Craig was like, "Why haven't we seen Bowens? Like, why isn't Bowens out there?" Blah blah blah. And I'm like, dude, Bowens missed a block that got Gunner absolutely killed. Like he whiffed a block that got Gunner killed.
Yeah. It also turns out he was hurt. He's been dealing with a calf injury.
I didn't
I
hear
saw,
that. I didn't see
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I saw that. I will say the play that I mentioned earlier, I think this is right. On the like second down when we were on our own 1 yard line, I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure Monroe Freeling like totally cleared out. He paved that way for McCray. So
Hmm.
did want to say that. I think overall, I think he had a really good game, but I
Hmm.
100% remember that play you're talking about. It's like, yeah, maybe let's not put the guy in a bum ankle like
Bum.
out in space like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Exactly. Like, come on,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. Uh, I don't know, man, dude. Like, just the whole. I was worried about this one. I know you like off season. You were like at Auburn scares me. Like at Auburn at night scares me. We had talked about that, and then like when you throw in the whole
Hmm.
Cam Newton thing and everything, I was kind of like, oh man, like I don't know about this one. And I kept being like, this is why it's so important to win your home games. Like I was upset that we had lost to Alabama. Like that was coming back in. I was like, we should have won that game. Then if we lost this one, it wouldn't matter as much. But didn't matter. Turned it around. Absolute chef's kiss. Gunner doing the Cam Newton Superman into the end zone to end it. It was just
Yeah. As it is, the voodoo got reversed. We reverse Uno'd their voodoo.
yeah, true. Um, let's see. Let's quickly recapping on coaches over unders. You got the best of me this week, and you have now taken a 1 pick lead on the season. So I went 500. You went 5-3. Back in the lead. You totally get to pick who goes first when we do the boldness preview. Um, and they were, dude, we're also only 1 pick apart in the pickums as well. So we had a good week in the pickums. I went 4-1, you went 3-2. So um, everything around went mostly kind of how we thought.
I don't even remember how I picked on those.
The one you
What
picked
did I miss
Missouri.
on?
It was Missouri was the
Ah, I
one you
picked
missed that I
Missouri.
didn't. And then we both picked Oklahoma, I believe. So I didn't have James Franklin getting fired by now on my bingo card preseason either.
Yeah, dude, there's a lot of dominoes. I feel like that I kind of wish that they had not fired him selfishly because so you've got I mean, isn't technically the Arkansas is or has Petrino been hired full time or is he still the interim?
He's the interim, as far as I
Yeah.
know. I yeah.
So on paper, you've got Arkansas, you've got Penn State. What other jobs are open?
Virginia Tech.
Virginia
Um,
Tech,
there's one other one.
Oklahoma State. They
Oh
fired
yeah,
Gundy,
that's what it was. That's the other
which
one. Yeah.
I feel like that's a program that's ripe for someone to come in and convince boosters to donate a bunch of money towards. I think that
Yeah.
Gundy was kind of like a anti-NIL kind of guy, didn't want to play the game from what I understand. I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to it, but what that does is that it creates an environment early in the coaching carousel situation that's like, okay, if you're a team like a Florida or a team like a Tennessee, or I mean, I'm not saying Tennessee, but you know what I mean? Like if you're a big program and you're looking to potentially make a move and not really sure, it's like a or get off the pot kind of thing.
Hmm.
It puts a lot more pressure on you to, okay, now we got to make a decision because the people that you may be wanting to consider are considering those other jobs because those are fairly high profile jobs. Oklahoma State, pathway to the CFP is a lot lighter than it is in the SEC. Big Ten, you've got a lot of history, I mean, Penn State's is a big job.
Yeah.
So anybody that's looking to step up and potentially take a step up to the big five or power five, um, you know that's. those are jobs that are going to be more enticing if you don't. You may miss out on a guy if
Yeah.
you don't make a move now to throw your hat in the hey, consider us ring kind of thing. I think Penn State would be stupid to not consider the Indiana coach, Signetti or whatever. He seems to be the hot commodity right now because he's got Indiana going
Phew.
on a heater right now,
I
which,
mean, took
maybe
it to
maybe
took it to Oregon at Oregon.
yeah, against Dan Lanning.
Yeah, that was surprising to me. I was I was not expecting
Yeah. After complaining about the travel.
that. I mean, I think that was the most surprising result of the weekend to me because I was still putting Indiana in the like, well, they won all those games last year, but then got to the playoff, and I mean they actually played Notre Dame pretty close, but um, I don't know. That's kind of how my attitude was. So mine changed. I'm gonna
So
gotta keep your eye on them.
so you say that, and so I'm curious, like, so Oregon, I kind of file Oregon under as much hype as they've gotten. They ain't played anybody, Jim. They beat the dog poop out of Montana State. They beat the crap out of Oklahoma State, and played a part in probably getting Gundy fired. They played North. They beat the crap out of Northwestern. They beat the crap out of Oregon State. I mean, those aren't exactly powerhouses. Penn State, that win at Penn State increasingly doesn't look as great.
Right.
And so Indiana was really their first test, and they lost. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
I don't
they
know.
and they don't really have another test. I'll say that too.
Yeah, I'll
So
say that. Yeah, I think that their pathway to the CFP is, like I said, these jobs, some of these jobs are very enticing. Like I would say that a Penn State job, an Oklahoma State job is probably, from a career standpoint, considering that Penn State just fired someone, paid him $50 million to, go pound sand somewhere.
did you see?
Um,
You see, Aaron Murray said that like he got his wife to agree that he should get into coaching and just get to the point where you can get a big buyout.
Dude, seriously, like it's a retirement strategy for some of these guys. I mean, look at Sam Pittman.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure that he's going to be walking away with a fairly decent, parting gift.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I mean, even Billy Napier, like I think what's his buyout's pretty large too. So like,
Yeah.
uh, good work if you can get it. But yeah, it's a lot easier to get through some of these because like some of these teams, it's not like an SEC schedule, man.
Dude, the
So
SC that's the thing. Like when you're mentioning that, I'm like looking at Oregon's schedule and then look at like our schedule. Shoot, look at Florida's schedule. Like these two things are not the same. Like
yeah, Oregon's schedule
it's pretty
is
crazy.
is like BS, man. Like Indiana is the to date, Indiana is their biggest test. And beyond that, there's not much else. Like there's
Yeah.
literally nothing else. They play so after Indiana, they play Rutgers, they play Wisconsin, they play Iowa, they play Minnesota, they play USC, and they play Washington. Like not
Well, I
exactly
mean,
a murderer's row.
I'm pretty sure between so you've got Ohio State, Miami up there at the top. Like they don't play any more ranked teams, I don't believe, on the season. So, and I don't
Yeah.
think, yeah, neither does Indiana. So the top three teams in the country have zero currently ranked teams on the remainder of their schedule, which is wild.
Mm.
Meanwhile, look at us, like, holy cow.
Yeah, meanwhile, we got to go through a gauntlet.
That includes Georgia Tech at the end, which get ready for undefeated Georgia Tech in the Benz, by the way. Just prepare yourself mentally for that.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to happen because, like you said, the ACC is nothing right now.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have
Um,
Florida State or Miami, so either. Although,
mhm.
granted, Florida State, bit of a struggle lately, but at any rate, I don't know. Any other final thoughts on 9 in a row over the War Eagle Tiger Plainsman?
Fear the thumb, fear the thumb.
True, true, of course.
That's the mantra now. Fear the thumbs. I mean, dude, my daughter has not experienced a loss to Auburn or Tennessee in her lifetime, and that is just mind-boggling to me. My youngest daughter.
Yeah, yeah, it is crazy. It is crazy. Like I said,
Yeah.
man, college me could not have comprehended such a thing. Like it's unbelievable.
It just goes to show like firing a coach isn't always going to lead to
Yeah.
results. I mean,
Yep.
Lord of mercy, the British Bulldog and I with Manchester United. Good grief. I think we're on. We clearly have taken the Tennessee slash Florida approach and just continue to churn through coaches. It seems
Mm,
like
mm.
at some point it all starts at the top, guys. Like coaching is not the issue. There's bigger problems afoot somewhere.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, I mean, on the plains,
Auburn Tigers.
so there's always that.
Hmm. Wait, what was that? Was that a soundbite that you did?
Auburn Tigers.
There it is. Love it.
uh,
Oh, I was just peeking in the background, like, yeah, dude, Georgia Tech doesn't play anybody until they play us. They have to play Pitt, which Pitt looked like a pretty decent game.
I would say Pitt. Pitt is probably that's probably the biggest danger. Oh, there's also always like the random sneak up game. Like no one would have thought. I forget. But Wake. I think the game against Wake was pretty close. So you never know. It and to your point, the whole any given Saturday kind of stuff.
Hey man,
In today's college football, you never really know.
Fran Brown has some hatred in his heart for Georgia Tech too. Maybe Syracuse can take those guys down on the flats.
Could be. Could be.
All
Oh, and
right. Um, Post game, Kirby taking the BTA was pretty hilarious
oh yeah.
when he jumped
Yes.
up on the table and was
Yes.
just doing the BTA sign,
Yes.
the universal symbol for BTA.
Yes.
That was pretty awesome. Like I said, if you haven't seen Kirby Smart All Access, check out the end of his post game speech. I'm gonna post a clip of that I thought was pretty cool. Just talking about fighting, man. Just keep fighting, keep chopping, and good things are gonna happen in life. That was the summary of his speech, and I was just like, chef's
Yeah.
kiss.
The other thing is if you haven't seen the highlight reel from the school that the school put out from this one, fantastic. Uh, one of the better endings of one of those videos you'll ever see. It was really good.
Mm.
Superman. Superman.
I feel like we should have an outro of the Superman music for this.
Man, I could do the regular. I've got the regular, but I don't have the super slowed down Krypton was it was so good. Which
Yeah,
I had to explain to Lily like that song we played in the fourth quarter, like that's Superman. Like that's the Superman theme song. So
it's
the
the Krypton.
Krypton fanfare. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that the official John Williams, oh man, off the rails. The official John Williams
Yeah.
song from Superman is like The Planet Krypton is the song in the
Okay, okay, okay.
soundtrack or whatever.
Got it. Got it.
The Krypton Fanfare is the title of the song that we
Correct.
like that our band plays or whatever, which I think is
Correct.
a little bit different, but um
Yeah.
effectively the same. Um Yeah, no, man, it's always good to beat a team in orange. That's all I'll say about that. And
Mm.
we get to get some revenge. We have a revenge tour for this coming weekend.
Yep.
I think that Lane has stepped in it on the pregame talk. In my opinion, has insulted our head coach, and I hope that we score 50. I hope we hang a 50 burger on him.
Nice. Well, we'll have special guests with us to preview that one.
Yes, the Fighting Hunters are on deck.
Yes.
And with that, go dogs.
Go dogs.